Outskirts of San Francisco, a Quinn Martin production. Starring Carl Malden. Also starring Michael Douglas. With guest stars Carl Betts, Geraldine Brooks, Patrick Conway, Norman Alden, Harry Rose. Tonight's episode, The Bullet.
Now, what kind of a thing is that? No, of course not. But I do want to talk to you.
Look, I just want to get...
got the dandiest notion. Clipped an article out of the school paper, you know, from your college. Jeff, we're going to get you a better job.
Now, look, I read the article. I don't want the position.
Well, you haven't given it as much thought as I have. You know, we got to think about Alice, Jeff. Your future. Alice has been a good wife to you. She's gone without. She's put up with our limited means. But head of the department, it's a wonderful opportunity, and the salary is $2,800 a year more than we're making now.
Not interested.
$2,800. It still only brings your payments to $185 a month, son.
No.
Jeff, you've got to consider it. Now, look, you're eligible for the advancement. You've passed up better positions twice now, son.
No. It means opening up my records. As long as I stay just what I am, nobody cares what I've been.
Jeff. It's odd. I don't have anybody scheduled. Jeff, would you mind stepping over here into the kitchen, please, and waiting just a few minutes? Yep. Mr. Dayton? That's right, sir.
Borman.
I never met Dr. Borman, but he's 58 years old. You're not. I made it very clear to Dr. Borman he was to come in person. This is a confidential relationship. You got a tape recorder in that briefcase?
I'll take the file.
All right. Just put the gun away. I'll get it.
cop, huh? Dayton was a cop.
Yeah, he was on the beat when I was. In 1959, he took a bullet in the gut in the liquor store holdup. Drew light duty after that.
Let me guess, records, right?
Mm-hmm, you guessed right, records. 4 years ago, Internal Affairs got wind of something, and he resigned under pressure. Steve, take a look at this. Newspaper clippings. Right up to date on everybody that he's had a record of. My guess is that he nailed everyone who was beginning to make it.
Blackmail.
Mm-hmm, blackmail. I wonder what it is that makes a guy go wrong.
You know somebody tore off today's date already?
Say, maybe the lab can make something from the impressions.
Mike, how about it? Can we roll with the body now?
Yeah, thanks, Doc.
Fellas are finished with the pictures and the measurements.
That bullet's been pried out. Check the others, will you, buddy boy?
Think this one's still in here. Yeah. Charlie, you gonna be able to pull this one out?
Yeah, we'll get it. Lieutenant?
Yeah.
You might want to have a look at the kitchen floor before we scrape it. We've got some blood evidence in there.
But Dayton died over here. What's blood doing in the kitchen? This the only place?
No, there's some more by the rear door. He must have gone out that way.
Wait a minute. Where's the slug that came through this door?
You got me. We have a clean hole, obvious entry and exit, and the bullet got lost.
What do you mean, got lost? Bullets don't get lost.
Maybe it spent and fell.
Now we've checked the entire floor.
Then there must have been a third person. Someone was here, got hit, and got out with our bullet.
We got ourselves a witness.
Better than that, we've got a witness with a bullet in.
Could have been somebody who worked for him.
Could be. Or somebody who's got an appointment on this calendar.
I'm home.
Oliver Lake was here. The young boy that you were supposed to tutor at 1:15.
So I blew $10.
Well, that's a great attitude. That's really great. I'm going to the market. Did you cash a check yesterday?
What?
I said, did you cash it? I'll be at the store. Jeff, would you come out, please?
I'll see you when you get back.
I think we better talk.
Not now.
Now. It's just too much money, Jeff. No, for too long a time.
Alice. Later. Okay. Later.
Jeff, if it's someone else, then tell me. Oh, you have to. What happened?
I'm not sure what happened. There's a bullet in my shoulder.
I'll get Phil.
No! Doctors have to report gunshot wounds, Alice.
But you need medical attention. You can't live with a bullet in your shoulder.
Well, I'll just have to try.
Phillips. What does that say, Phillips?
Phillips, Williams, Borman.
Phillips, Williams, and Borman, huh? Good. How about the blood?
The blood scrapings from the kitchen floor are type AB.
Well, is that common or uncommon? What?
Rare. 4% of the population.
4%.
Charlie, what about the bullet they dug out of the wall in the study?
Yeah, what about that?
38, police positive. We ran it against Dayton's gun and got a match. 1 cartridge fired.
Dayton shot once, the killer shot twice. The witness's blood is AB. Good. Let's run this type against the 3 names.
Looks like a cop finally found a way to zap the policeman's pension fund.
That's not funny, Johnson. You know what the papers and TV would do with that, don't you?
I'm sorry, Mike.
Well, it's just not funny. Now, we got 3 names, 1 blood type against 3 possibles. That's Phillips. We'll let Healy and Lessing take him. Then there's Borman and, who's that?
Williams.
Williams. Borman and Williams. We'll take those 2.
You think we're really on solid ground with this Dayton blackmail thing?
Gotta be. These books have him dragging down over $40,000 last year.
$40,000?
$40,000 in dribs and drabs, $100 a month here, $200 there, and the topper is there's no record of him paying any income tax. Hey, Dan, got the coroner's report?
Being typed. I'll pick it up in 10 minutes.
Let me have what you've got on Phillips and Williams.
I'm just looking through this stuff at Dayton's. Looks like a cop finally found a way to make a decent living.
Dan, it's 5 minutes to the coroner's office and 5 minutes back. That's 10 minutes.
Okay, Mike.
And on the way, check at the desk and find out if any doctors called in on gunshot wounds.
Right.
Phillips, Albert A. Conviction of child molestation, 63. To year Chino. Probation concluded in 66.
Put Lessing on it.
Right. Williams, Jeffrey David. Murder 2. Conviction 1943.
I was just 18 then. Didn't even have my driver's license yet. I was sitting in the car waiting. I heard the shots from inside the gas station. 3 shots. Jimmy ran out, jumped in the car, and we drove off. Is there any of that bourbon left, Alice? I could use something.
Of course, I'll get it.
Well, we sideswiped another car a few miles away. A police car took off after us. Jimmy lost control. We ran off the road, turned over. Jimmy was killed. I was arrested.
And you had nothing to do with the shooting.
It'd be hard to deny it. I needed a fix as badly as Jimmy did.
What?
I was an addict, Alice. Almost 2 years then. Before it was fashionable. Anyway, the gun was found in the car and the money from the gas station register. It was an easy conviction.
How long were you in prison?
4 years. Another 8 on probation.
It's hard to believe all of this.
Well, maybe it shaped me up. Turned me around, anyway. I stayed straight, went after a degree, got my master's. Then Harley Richards put his neck on the line for me. Junkies with felony convictions are not highly regarded by college administrators, but he was determined to have me in his department, and being dean of the college, he kept my records closed. No one there knew about my conviction.
I see. No wonder you were so upset when he died. But then, this man, Dayton, when did he first start calling you?
About 6 years ago, just when it looked like I was going to start making it. There was some conjecture in the college paper about offering me a full professorship.
But you didn't accept. Of course. Of course, that's why you never accepted. Because you were afraid of what the regents might find out. But then it had nothing to do with my being too ambitious or your being afraid of facing responsibility. Oh, darling, I've said such awful things to you. I'm so sorry.
No, Alice, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't tell you a long time ago. For all the money that went to Dayton, money that should have been yours. All the nice things I wanted you to have.
It doesn't matter. It's over now, all over. Now we just have to get you to a doctor.
No.
Oh, yes, we
Alice,
will.
I'm not going to throw it all away now. Maybe later, when we can get away. After final exams, we can go somewhere and have the bullet taken out. Later.
You know, Mike, there's no record of payment on this guy Borman. Last name on the ledger, today's date.
Never kicked in any money, huh?
And there's no appointments with him in Dayton's calendar up until now either.
I couldn't find a dirt file on him.
Coroner's report. Hey, Mike, that stuff I said before about Dayton.
Forget it, Dan. Just forget it. But if by any chance you're thinking of moonlighting out of R&I, just remember that Dayton got his last payment in one lump sum.
Well, if the end of that finger is either 22 or 32 caliber, that'd make it about right. Coroner says that Dayton was killed instantly, single gunshot wound, apparently 22 to 32 caliber bullet. Even though the slug wasn't recovered, he figures by the clean exit it was a steel jacket.
How much money do you have on the body?
530 cash, another 100 and a half in plain envelope.
Time of death?
Between 11:30 and 1:30. Got a suspect?
Yeah. Dr. Marvin Borman.
Spell it out.
Manslaughter, drunk driving, 59, did 11 months in probation. But listen to this. 63, conspiracy to commit assault and battery. Borman hired a Jerry Casey to commit assault on Gordon Dawson, a man who threatened to bring malpractice charges.
Number one. He's our number one. A guy with a record. He's due for his first appointment with a blackmailer, but he doesn't go in with cash, he goes in with a gun. Come on, buddy boy. We got our first house call to make.
Room 105, please.
Doctor?
Yes.
You're late.
I had a patient in labor. I'm sorry. It was a difficult delivery.
Mine wasn't. Your file's here, and I want the balance on account.
Meet me in 45 minutes at the base of the cross on Twin Peaks.
Just a minute. Yes. Have them wait outside, please. Yeah, go ahead.
Problem, Doctor?
Do you know any reason why the police should be here?
No, do you? 45 minutes, Doctor.
Yes?
Lieutenant Stone, this is Inspector Keller. I believe you knew a James Dayton.
No, I don't think I do.
Well, that's very strange, because you had a 2 o'clock appointment with him today.
Gentlemen, I don't know what this is about, but I'm pretty certain that I can prove that I was at my hospital from 10 o'clock this morning till just a few moments ago. And I never met this man, I'm sure. Never.
Well, how about phone calls? Did he call you to discuss your prison record?
No.
Dr. Borman, may I ask you your blood type?
No, you may not ask me my blood type.
Well, do you object to being examined by a police physician?
Yes, I object very strenuously, just as strenuously as I object to these insinuations. Now, if I'm a suspect, I'm entitled to counsel. Isn't that the truth?
That is the truth, Dr. Borman. And you know, I think that you were probably in your hospital when Dayton was killed. And I tell you what else I think. I think that you hired someone to deal with a blackmailer.
That is not true.
Here, let me throw that away for you.
Wait, no, that's mine. Give me.
I'm sorry. I thought you were through with it by now.
When can I call my attorney?
As soon as we've got you booked. Now, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be held against you in the court of law.
Mike, it's the Capri Motel. Piece of paper said room 105.
you describe him for us?
Yes, I'd say he's about 40, 6'2", graying hair, nice looking.
Smith.
Yes, sir, that's the name on the register.
Phone calls?
No locals. One long distance. Kansas City, I think.
Would you have a record of that call? Possibly the name?
Yes, I certainly do. The number, anyway. Shall I get the book?
It would be very helpful. Thank you, please.
Kansas City newspaper. Magazines. Mike. Look at this.
Compartment?
Two cartridges fired. I think we just scored.
Scored? Nah. We're not even within field goal range.
I guess you're right, circumstantial. But if that bullet matches the gun...
Good as an eyewitness. I just hope he doesn't know about our third man, because if he does, there goes our ball game.
He's gonna be looking for that bullet, too.
Get this wrapped up quick. Call a stakeout unit. If he shows, nail him on the spot.
See, we found a full set of his books. And also there was $150 in an envelope in Dayton's pocket.
I have nothing to say, Inspector. Except that I didn't kill him.
I believe that. But I think you were there, behind that kitchen door.
Your blood type's AB, Mr. Williams, was on your record. It was also on the kitchen floor.
Mr. Williams, we have the gun that we think killed Dayton. And that bullet could tie it all together for us.
I'm sorry, Lieutenant.
You know you can be subpoenaed.
If you have a case. But you need the bullet for that, don't you?
Mr. Williams, I can understand how you feel. And why you'd like to keep it quiet and to yourself. But you do understand, don't you? That you could die with your secret.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean that Mr. Williams...
The man who shot Dayton has the original calendar page. And if we can find your husband, so can he.
Maybe he's fool enough to stay around looking. I think he'd want to be as far away as possible, as quickly as he could get there.
Well, he's a pro. And pros aren't in the habit of leaving loose ends, and you're a loose end.
It's a very good deduction, Lieutenant, but just theory.
Lieutenant, could I just have a minute alone with my husband?
I don't have a minute, Mrs. Williams, and I don't think your husband does either. I don't want the coroner to give me that bullet. I want it from him right now, so come along. We're going to the hospital.
I don't think so, Lieutenant. You don't have that authority. You're a policeman. I shouldn't have to tell you the law.
The law?
I did some checking. And it seems that among our other personal guarantees in this country is the guarantee that our bodies are inviolate. Not even the Supreme Court can force a man to submit to a surgical operation. That's the law, gentlemen. And I'm sure that as officers sworn to uphold it, you won't do anything to make me break it.
DA?
And Judge Carlson, I got a unanimous verdict.
Williams was right.
The rights of homo corpus, man's body, are inviolate. Mike, we can't touch him.
Homo corpus, huh? Great.
No way to break him.
Not the way I read it. The man we're talking about has coughed up almost $10,000. He had to live with this pressure for almost 6 years.
Yep, that'd make him pretty hard, all right.
Yeah, too hard to break just because he's got a bullet in his arm. I guess that makes our job much easier, doesn't it? All we've got to do is find the killer.
Well, maybe Kansas City will come through.
Yeah, did you get word yet?
Yeah, the number's listed to a guy named Sid Winters. He's a big honcho in the local rackets. They're pulling photos on guys he runs with that fits our description.
Let me brighten your day, Lieutenant. Lab says the gun you brought in could be the murder weapon. Those 2 shells were high-velocity load, and both bullets did wear steel jackets.
Terrific. That means the bullet in Williams' shoulder could do it for us.
Williams, that's the second guy on the list, right?
That's right.
He took the slug?
Yeah, he took it right out of the case.
What?
The rights of homo corpus. You can't cut a man open if he doesn't want to be cut open. So, Mr. Sunshine, what else you got to brighten my day?
How about that? Not much. I did see the other fellow, Phillips. He was there just like the calendar said, 12 o'clock sharp, got hustled right out. Apparently, Dayton liked to keep everybody apart, didn't want anybody to see anybody else. Kind of like a shrink, you know?
Did you check out the Phillips story?
He says he went straight to a business meeting. Lessing's on it now. You got this Borman in the tank, don't you?
We got nothing without the bullet. Borman won't talk, and Williams won't talk either.
Oh, Lieutenant, Kansas City just called. They're sending in a picture. Coming through, Casey.
Well, that looks like the man the motel manager described.
Yeah, we'll get it under her nose for a positive.
How you doing, Kansas City? Good, good. This is Inspector Keller. We have some prints we want to check against this man. What's his name? Coyle, Victor A. That's C-O-Y-L-E? Right. Well, could you send us his full jacket, please, and maybe run another one of these through? Thank you. We're putting out an APB, suspicion of murder.
Yes? Would you come with me, please?
What for?
Just a few questions.
Police?
That's right. Any place that's private, we... Oh, this is fine.
Hey, what's going on? I told you, fellas, I didn't see anybody.
Move it.
I haven't seen any ID.
Who are you? Inside.
Seems we're late again. I apologize for keeping you past the hour, but I think the extra review will reflect itself favorably in your blue books next week. This will only take a minute. I'd hoped I'd made myself clear, Lieutenant. I guess I don't use the language as effectively as I thought.
It's my turn to be clear, Mr. Williams. The man that you won't help us find just killed somebody else.
First name on the list, Albert Phillips.
He stripped him to the waist after he shot him. Does that tell you anything?
He wants that bullet, Mr. Williams. He knows it can convict him.
No.
No? What do you mean, no? Phillips is dead and you're next on that list.
I can't make a public testimony.
Well, you don't make sense. You know that, Mr. Williams? You don't make any sense at all. Now, if the lead in that bullet doesn't kill you, the next one will, because it's going to be right on target.
If I give it to you, what kind of a target will I be, Lieutenant? Now, it's a standoff, gentlemen. You can't use coercion by the school authorities, and you can't give it to the press. That'd be harassment. So, wait here a moment.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Let's see, was really only one other thing I wanted to touch on, I guess. You remember our discussion of Ezra Pound?
He's a poet. I know.
Sorry. You're also impressed with his erudition, his easy use of recondite images.
Something like a Tokyo Rose, right? See, I told you, I knew.
You marvel at this contemporary man's command of the classics, the prodigious amount of work, the undeniable genius. And you all agreed that he was more than deserving of his rank as one of the greatest American poets of the 20th century.
Did you ever read any of his poetry? Who has time to read any of his poetry? I barely have time to read booking slips.
And yet this man was denied that reputation in his own country. Why? Mr. Miller?
Some people thought he was a traitor.
Some people?
Most people, I guess.
No guess, Mr. Miller. Truth. And why?
The propaganda broadcast he did for the enemy during World War II.
Right. An action which people could not forgive. And what does this tell us about people? Mr. Garrow?
You know?
Well, let me bring it a little closer to home. Some of you have found enough in this class to enroll with me for the American novel. But what if you discovered that I had a criminal record?
It's criminal when you hand out those low grades, man.
Well, think about it. Suppose that at one time I had been a junkie.
Pretty heavy fiction.
Let me lay it on a little heavier. What if I'd been involved in a killing, had actually been found guilty of murder? Would it still be the same between us? Or would you find yourself saying, this man who pleads for ethical conduct, for scrupulous morality, who demands that I plumb the depths of my ability to reason, this same man has been found guilty by society of having acted without reason? Would you say to yourself, why should I listen to him? Mr. Miller?
I'd have to think about that. Yeah.
And what about the Regents? Would they think about it?
Forget it, baby. School's out.
I guess the point can't be made any more succinctly than that. What a man is or does in private becomes a part of his public image. Good or bad, it's on the record. And whether that's good or bad, I leave you to think about. Well, that's it. Except that it's been a pleasure having you all this semester. Good luck on the finals.
Maybe we could get out of here, all right?
Understand a little better now?
Oh, yeah, that routine about a man's private life and his public image being one. I knew that all the time. But, the way those kids reacted, especially at the end, that tells me a lot I didn't know.
That's tradition.
No, sir, no way. That's respect. Hard earned. Yeah. Listen, I remember more than one very long silence at the end of the semester.
I guess we did get along rather well.
Hi, Mr. Williams.
Hello, John.
That means more to you than staying alive, doesn't it?
So that is my life, Lieutenant. Digging, probing, watching them take hold of an idea, taking it further than I knew it could go, loving it.
And loving you for helping.
If you read my file, you know I went a long way without any help. A long way in the wrong direction. What I can give now makes up for that.
Let's get you to a hospital.
No, I'm going to be all right. If you'll excuse me, there's some papers I have to get out of my office.
Mr. Williams, there's one thing you said in your class. You being someone who demands ethics and morals from other people. Now, how are you able to equate that with allowing a killer to run loose?
From what you've told me, Inspector, the killer is interested in only one person now. Now, if that's true, and I'm the only one who stands to be hurt by it, that's a risk I'm willing to take.
Okay, if he won't keep up his guard, we're going to have to do it for him. Let's get on the box. Tell him we're staying with him, and we'll get a stakeout unit for the house.
Mrs. Williams.
Get in.
I have your husband, Mrs. Williams. You want to see him again, alive. Get in.
Alice? Alice? Hello?
Jeff,
Alice, I didn't know you'd gone out.
I went to the store, Jeff, and...
Mr. Williams, I have your wife.
Get an ambulance.
The man called. The man who shot Dayton. He's got my wife.
What did he tell you to do, Mr. Williams?
Downtown. Corner of Jones and Geary. I stand on the corner. 7 o'clock. He's got Alice.
Tell me this. Did you see a man at Dayton's? Can you describe him? 6'2", 40, graying hair?
He said he'd kill her.
Don't worry, we'll take care of it for you.
Please, be very careful.
We will, Mr. Williams, we will. But do you give the doctor permission to take the bullet out?
Stay to the right and slow. Is that him?
I can't tell.
If it is your husband, stop. If it isn't, just keep going. Is it him?
Yes, that's Jeff.
Get in.
You all right, Alice?
Fine. How's the shoulder?
It hurts.
Turn right and Geary and go straight, Mrs. Williams. Mr. Williams, sit forward. Go. Go!
Subject vehicle proceeding west on Gary. Do not intercept. Do not apprehend. Alert Inspectors 6368, Helicopter 1.
Subject vehicle proceeding west on Geary.
ahead to Point Lobos, Miss Williams. Pick it up.
It's moving pretty good now.
Heading out Lobos.
Yeah. Put it on the box.
Subject vehicle proceeding west on Point Lobos Avenue.
When you come to the next turn off, take it. Cut the lights.
Where are we going?
Down the next side road, Mr. Williams.
Get back on that thing, find out what the chopper's got.
This is 8-1. We've lost contact.
Subject vehicle just doused his lights and turned right on next side road west.
I can't see.
You don't have to. We're almost there.
Look, what you wanted was a bullet. That's why I'm here. And there's no need to involve my wife.
You're not a well man, Mr. Williams. Don't talk. Pull up here. Just to the right. Out. This side. Both of you. Right on out to the dock.
They're in the open. Let it go.
This is 8-1. Have the helicopter hit it.
I guess we're out of the woods, Mrs. Williams. Say, yeah, I think your husband's just getting out of surgery about now.
Mrs. Williams, we have a radio in the car if you want to find out his condition. Back.
Okay, what's the big mystery?
Mike, how long have you been a detective?
Oh, very funny. Well, now, buddy boy, you've been with me long enough to know that I work one of two ways, right?
Right.
Booze or muscle. Take your choice.
All right, all right. We're going over to Williams' house for dinner Saturday night, right?
Right.
After dinner, we'll be sipping our brandy, congratulating him on how the Regents decided to keep him on, right?
That's right. We'll be celebrating a man's whole new life.
Exactly.
But since when do you buy brandy in a bookstore?
No. I'm thinking about after the brandy.
After the brandy?
Yeah.
I don't pick up that clue.
I bought you a little present.
What is it?
Open it.
Poem, poetry.
It's Ezra Pound. Remember Williams talking about him at the school?
Yeah, I remember he talked to his class about him.
That's right. That's for you.
What? Oh, now, wait a minute. I can't read this.
Why not?
Listen, raineth drop and staineth slop. Oh, come on now.
Wait a minute. What?
Yeah, raineth drop and staineth slop. Skiddeth bus and sloppeth us. Now, come on. Isn't poetry supposed to be clear and to the point?
That's right.
Well, I've got something to the point and clear for you, young fella.
What is it?
Sit quietly. You have a right to remain silent. Is that clear?
That's clear.
Anything you say can and will be used against you in the point of law. Is that to the point?
That's to the point.
All right, then get going.